Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we are cutting the line and jumping straight onto the dance floor of 1990s Japan.
Yes, we are.
We're going to investigate this just incredible cultural synergy. The relationship between high-speed Italian Eurobeat music and the hyper-synchronized group dance known as Parapara.
Right. And our mission here is to really unpack how this happened, how a European sound born, a world away from Tokyo didn't just get imported.
It wasn't just a trend.
No, it was strategically evolved. It became this uniquely Japan-only market phenomenon that was, deeply tied into the cultural codes of the whole Jairu youth movement.
Okay, so let's start with the basic ingredients here. If we look at the music's DNA, what exactly is Eurobeat?
Well, it all starts back in the 1980s. It sort of grows out of Italian Italo disco, but it's mixed with these high NRG elements. For the Japanese market, though, it had to hit some very specific marks.
Like what?
Speed. We're talking blistering speeds, usually somewhere between 140 and 160 BPM.
Oh, okay.
It's all synth-driven. It has that classic four-on-the-floor drum beat with those, driving hand claps. And on top of all that, you get these incredibly bright, dramatic, but sometimes weirdly melancholic melodies.
That pace, 140 to 160 BPM, that's just insanely fast. So if the music is moving like that, what does that demand from the dance? It started in Tokyo discos like Maharaja.
It did. And what it demands is, well, uniformity. The speed doesn't really allow for a lot of improvisation.
So you can't just make it up as you go.
Not at all.
Yeah.
The crucial thing to understand about Parapara is that it was never about the skill of one dancer. It was about how perfectly you could just disappear into the collective.
Into the team.
Exactly. Achieving that huge synchronized wave of movement. It was a team effort, not, social flirting on the dance floor.
I see. So the dance floor becomes this highly coordinated, almost large-scale performance. And what's so fascinating to me is why these two things were such a perfect match.
It really just comes down to structure. The fast tempo of Eurobeat syncs up perfectly with those quick, repetitive, really precise hand movements.
Of course.
And critically, the music structure is crystal clear. You've got your A melody, your verse, an easily identifiable chorus, which made creating synchronized choreography or furitsuke remarkably simple. The songs basically told you how to build the dance.
And that's what's so wild. It feels so deliberate. The dance wasn't just happening to the music. It was being sold with the music. Which brings us to AVEX.
Oh, yeah, the strategic market play. AVEX was the key. This was not just a case of importing records.
Not at all.
No. They built a custom-made environment. They launched their Super Eurobeat compilation series around 1990, and it was tailored exclusively for Japan.
And how did they keep the supply of music coming?
They locked it down. AVEX secured these exclusive production contracts with the big Italian labels. We're talking Time, ABC, Delta. These guys were the engine rooms of Italo disco, and now they were pretty much dedicated to serving this one very specific high BPM Japanese sound.
That created this totally closed loop, didn't it? And the CDs themselves, the physical product, it basically confirmed the plan.
It absolutely did. AVEX included the full choreography guides, the furitsuke right there in the CD jacket. So you weren't just buying music to listen to.
We were buying instructions.
We were buying instructions for a collective ritual.
And this is where the cultural impact just explodes, right? Parapara becomes a core symbol of Jairu culture, tied to Shibuya 109 fashion.
It does. And the media use these gal charisma figures to introduce new routines, often through like VHS and DVD series. Paradise was a huge one.
So was that feeling of, fierce inclusion, this ritual of participation, was that what made it so attractive? It offered a unified identity against the more conservative Japanese society at the time.
Precisely. It created this powerful culture of belonging. You buy the CD, you learn the moves from the booklet or the video, and you immediately belong. It transformed passive listening into active, synchronous cultural practice.
And even though the boom kind of slowed down in the mid-2000s, it never really died.
It didn't. It survived in niche clubs. And then, funny enough, the whole cycle sort of completed itself when it got revived on YouTube. You had overseas fans discovering it, which led to this kind of reverse importation of appreciation.
So when you boil it all down, Eurobeat and Parapara were this perfect co-conspiracy, unified by these shared codes: repetitiveness, clear structure, and collectivism. It's an amazing early example of selling participation, not just a product.
It is, and it's a powerful reminder of what happens when music doesn't just entertain your ears, but it actively transforms through the body into a collective practice, which I think raises a really important question for you, the listener.
Yeah.
What modern trends today share that same focus on collective physical participation, where consumption becomes a ritual of unification? I mean, think about TikTok dances or even certain esports fandoms where it's the shared action that truly defines the culture.